Hey there, welcome to the Programming in Kotlin Collections and Lambda course. In this one, you're going to be building on the knowledge you've gained from the previous course, Programming in Kotlin Fundamentals. If you haven't watched that course, then you should definitely go back, watch it, then jump right back on this one. Or you can just follow along. In this course, you'll learn about more constructs like collections, which lets you store a group of values in one place. You learned about functions in the previous course. In this one, you'll build on that knowledge and learn about lambdas, which is also known as an anonymous function. They can help simplify your code because you can simply pass them to other functions as values. Not to worry, you'll learn about lambdas in the third part of this course. The first two parts will cover collections. Collections are a way to store multiple values of the same type in one place or one construct. Instead of having to create 2, 3, 10 or more constants or variables, you can easily create one collection which stores that many values. To compare Kotlin collections to a real-world example, you can have a look at a collection of Magic: The Gathering cards. While I might have a problem when it comes to the quantity of cards, I don't have a problem storing them in this nice collection. All of the items here are of the same type. They are all cards, but each card can be different, or I can have multiple copies of the same card. There are several types of Kotlin collections. The two most basic are array and list. These two collection types represent collections where you can have multiple elements, and each element can be in a collection multiple times, meaning you can have duplicates. They are the most basic and the most common because they are used to store any type of information out there. For example, you can store collections of data to show in your application like a news feed or a movie list. The two more complex collections of values are sets and maps. Sets are used to store data which is unique and cannot have duplicates, and map defines key value pairs just like words in a dictionary. Each word has a definition and a meaning or translation. The definition is the key and the meaning or translation are values. Now, all of these collections use a concept called generics or generic variants. Generics are used when you want to define a class which can work with any type you give it, meaning it is generic. For example, if Kotlin has a list or array or map or set class for every single type in existence, that would be either impossible to manage or very hard and painstakingly long to program. Instead of this, Kotlin has generics for all of its collections. Now, before you get confused, let's take a look at what a code that uses generics looks like. Each generic has one or more defined generic types, usually a letter from the alphabet or a word describing what it represents that is placed inside angled brackets. Then, within the class or function that is generic, you use the following notation to let it use the type. You can also declare functions and properties of the generic type to add extra behavior to the construct. Finally, you can use generics by adding the target types within the angled brackets of generic classes or functions you call. You'll be learning more about generics and classes later in the learning path, but this should be enough for you to understand the concepts. Now it's time to learn about collections in Kotlin, but before we dive into the world of collections, you'll first learn about pairs and triples. Pairs and triples are used to store 2 or 3 pieces of data which don't need to be of the same type. They can be thought of as lightweight classes, which you'll learn more about further down the learning path. Let's take a look at pairs and triples in the next episode.